Narcissism isn't just somebody who is mean or selfish or manipulative. Extreme narcissism is a pathology. It's a skewed, distorted perception of the world. And because of this, narcissists can tend to have odd, quirky behaviors that don't really make sense, but things that we may overlook when they come up. In today's video, I'm going to go over some of these telltale signs of narcissism that we may miss and only see in hindsight. Welcome to Looking Behind the Mirror, where we explore narcissism and take our lives back as we make sense out of nonsense. As a quick disclaimer, everything I say is based on my opinions and my personal experiences. I'm not a professional, and if you're really struggling, I encourage you to seek professional help. I am providing links below for you. So I've just come up with a list of some odd behaviors that we can see from pathological narcissists before we've really realized that we have a very serious problem on our hands. And this list is by no means exhaustive. As I sat down and started thinking of things, the list grew very quickly, so I could probably do another video on this topic, but in no particular order, let's start with the behaviors that I've come up with. And the first one is that narcissists invent arguments out of nothing. And this might be hard to understand unless we've really experienced what this means. This doesn't mean just making a huge deal out of a small annoyance. This means really inventing an argument out of nothing. So as an example, let's say that you've been dating a narcissist for maybe a year. And when you were very first dating, you remember that they told you that they had a deadly fish allergy. And so you've remembered that and been careful not to have fish anywhere, right? But let's say there's a family party coming up and your mom is bringing fish over or planning on bringing fish over to this family party. And you go to the narcissist and you say, my mom wants to bring fish to this party, so is that okay? Should I talk to her? Can you have, like you're concerned and you're bringing this up and the narcissist says something like, no, that's fine. Why would it bother me to have fish at the party? And you would say something like, I thought you had a serious fish allergy. And they're like, what are you talking about? And then you start arguing about, you told me last year that you have a deadly fish allergy. No, I didn't. Yeah, you did. Why are you telling me you didn't? You did. And then you start arguing about something that you clearly remember. This is maybe an example of gaslighting, but it's an argument invented out of nothing when really all you're trying to do is gain some clarity. You're just asking a simple question. Why did you tell me you have a fish allergy if you don't? And it turns into this huge argument. Another example could be maybe a couple days ago, the narcissist said, we need to go over to my sister's for dinner on Tuesday. She invited us over. And then Tuesday night comes along and you get ready and you go downstairs or whatever. And the narcissist is sitting there eating dinner, watching TV. And you say, oh, I thought we were going to your sister's for dinner. And the narcissist says, why would you think that? And again, you said a couple days ago that we were going to your sister's tonight. No, I didn't. Why would my sister want dinner on a Tuesday night? Can't you cook? Can't you feed yourself? And you might say something like, well, it wasn't that I didn't think I could feed myself, but you said we were going over to your sister's for dinner. So did plans change? It's not a big deal. I just would like to know what's going on. And then the narcissist might just say something rude or hurtful about how you don't listen or you remember things wrong or you're imagining things. And it turns into this great big argument out of nothing when really you're just asking for a simple explanation of something. There are several reasons that narcissists do this. One is just that they're bored and they make up things as they go. They don't really see any value in the truth or in reality. They really feel like because they are so omnipotent and the center of the universe and the creator of all things, they really feel like their will, their belief, their mood controls and dictates reality. That whatever they think or whatever they imagine is more important than what's really going on or what has really happened. So if they told you a couple days ago that they were going over to their sister's for dinner, but today their mood has changed and they don't feel like going over to their sisters, they will just decide that never happened. And if you don't go along with that, something's wrong with you. And if this leads into a heated argument over what reality is, that's just a bonus for them because they enjoy the drama. They enjoy seeing proof that they can control your emotions and cause you to react in an emotional way. And they really are annoyed that you haven't adopted their imaginary reality by reading their mind somehow before you've even brought it up. So they kind of feel like you deserve to be frustrated and that you deserve an endless, pointless argument. Another odd behavior that's really closely related to this is that narcissists will lie about things that don't make any sense or don't seem to be important. Of course, this is something that any pathological liar will do, but it is something that narcissists do. And it's really confusing because it makes sense why somebody would lie about cheating or stealing or doing something that might make you angry. I mean, some lies make sense. It's not right, but it makes sense why somebody would lie to protect themselves or cover up what they've done. But narcissists will tell those types of lies, but they will also tell lies that don't make any sense, that make you wonder, why would they lie about that? Like in my first examples, why would somebody lie about having a fish allergy? That doesn't make any sense. Why would they then lie about lying about the fish allergy? Why would somebody lie about what they said 2 days ago? Why would you lie about what you ate for breakfast? Or why would you lie about what color your old car was? And I mean, these are the types of arguments that we can get into when narcissists tell these types of lies. Maybe their old car was a blue Honda and you remember it. You remember the blue Honda, and now they're trying to tell you that it was black. It wasn't blue. And you're like, what? And you spend the next couple hours poring through your pictures, trying to find a picture of the old car, wondering if you've lost your mind because you're sure it was blue. But why would they lie about that? And the reasons that they tell lies about things that don't seem to matter are really the same reasons that they invent arguments out of nothing. They're just dictating reality. They're just going by their mood. I think if they lie to you about what color their old car was, maybe in the moment, maybe they really did remember it being a different color. Like maybe it just popped in their head that way and that's how they felt. So that became the new reality. And when you push back and say, no, your old car was blue, they reject that immediately. They don't stop and think, oh, was it? No, they are like, no, I decided it was black. I said it was black, therefore it is. And you don't have the right to argue with me. And I don't care what color it actually was because I just told you what color it was. Another odd behavior that you will see from a narcissist is an inappropriate display of emotion. Like they might cry over something that doesn't quite make sense, or they might laugh or seem cheerful in a situation that seems off. I think the biggest one is the crying or the sadness or trying to show some kind of empathy that just doesn't quite click. And if you're a normally empathic person and somebody is crying or showing sadness, it really goes against our nature to question that. So when a narcissist is crying or showing this type of emotion, we're probably going to be very slow to question it, maybe even to acknowledge that we're questioning it to ourselves, because maybe we feel like that's mean or invalidating. And I mean, it can be when somebody seems really sad or upset. We don't want to question that. I mean, we're not narcissists. But when a narcissist does this, sometimes it just feels off. Something doesn't quite make sense about it. Why is this person crying about what they just said? I don't understand why they would feel emotional about that. That doesn't quite make any sense. And then, of course, sometimes they will laugh at something that is not funny, something that's actually really awful. And sometimes, and all narcissists are different, but sometimes when narcissists display extremely inappropriate emotions that don't seem to match the situation, when we do or say something that clues them in that we're confused why they're displaying these emotions, sometimes you can see them kind of double back and kind of reconsider what they're saying or doing. I think, and this definitely doesn't always happen, but I think sometimes they realize that they're kind of pretending or faking, or going through the motions, mimicking what they've seen, trying to act normal. And when you give them feedback that indicates that you're confused as to why they're displaying the emotions they are, sometimes they can stop and realize, oh, I'm off here. This isn't working. And of course, sometimes they can just get really angry at you or double down or whatever. They can do all kinds of things. But this is just a weird, quirky thing that you might look back on later and think, yeah, that was really off when he or she started crying about their nephew's pet parakeet dying. Like, that was weird. And I'm sure there's lots of reasons they do this. They might just be manipulating people. They might just be trying to mimic what they've seen, trying to manipulate the people around them into maybe feeling sorry for them. Or maybe if they're laughing at something inappropriate, maybe they're trying to force people into kind of rejecting the importance of it, like ridiculing something that other people are taking seriously. I think it really all comes down to different forms of manipulation through displaying emotion, because I think this usually works for them really well, but sometimes they get the act a little off because they really aren't reacting to genuine emotions that they're feeling, because the emotions they feel are created in a very different way from the emotions that a normal person feels. So sometimes this game that they're playing, they mess it up a little bit, but I really think that manipulation is the goal here. Manipulation of the people around them and manipulation of how they want the people around them to view them. Another telltale sign of a narcissist is they will become enraged over things that are really small or things that just don't seem to matter at all. And they will just become inconsolably infuriated. And it just doesn't make any sense. I remember in a relationship I was in, and this is going to sound kind of weird, but I like to sing. And this person set up kind of a makeshift recording studio just for fun. And well, I thought it was just for fun. It was really just this vehicle that was used to torture me. But I've sung most of my life, and I know quite a bit. I mean, I'm not an expert, but I know quite a bit about singing and music. And this narcissist really didn't know anything about music or singing at all. But he set up this makeshift studio, and like I said, I thought it was just for fun. I would just record myself singing to like karaoke tracks, and then he would edit it, and I just thought it was a fun thing. But then he really started like trying to micromanage what I was doing and demanding that I sing certain songs or that I sing them a different way. And he would say things that didn't make any sense. And I remember one specific thing is he would tell me on certain songs, he would say, sing it higher. And if you have a karaoke music track, you can't just sing it higher. And I would try to ask him, like, do you mean like sing the notes higher? Because I can't just sing higher notes because the music's already there. And I cannot express to you in words how infuriated. I mean, it was frightening how angry he would get that I wouldn't just sing it higher. I mean, I remember his face would get red and he was just screaming at me and telling me nobody gives a shit about your singing except me, and his veins popping out of his neck, and he would scream at me and say, why don't you just try? Why don't you just try it? And if I did, I remember spending hours trying to explain to him, like, I can't just sing it higher. The music's predetermined the notes that I need to sing. Oh, I'm getting like worked up just remembering this. But if I did try to just sing it higher because of how relentlessly he would harass me, then of course it would sound awful. He would either say, there, that's all I wanted. It was that easy. Why didn't you just do it? Or he would say, oh, so you're just being funny. Now you're just doing it wrong on purpose just to try to prove a point. So it's like I could not win. But I remember really wondering and trying to understand through this complete waste of time, trying to communicate with him, trying to understand why he was so angry over such a stupid thing. And this was a huge red flag that I really ignored for a long time. But the reason that narcissists get so angry over such stupid little things is because they're already angry. Narcissists are already just infuriated at life. They go through their whole life in extreme frustration because they're angry at the initial circumstances, I think, of their childhood. I think these are things that they never really dealt with. And I think that as adults, they live in a world in which they're supposed to be in charge of everything. They're the smartest person in the room. They control everyone and everybody, all the things that happen in their life. They have the last say over absolutely every little piece of their own invented reality. And this isn't actually what ends up happening. And when their imaginary version of reality clashes with actual reality, this makes them feel really angry. This makes them feel like they're being wronged, like they're being victimized. And this is part of what fuels this fury and this rage within them. And I don't think that many of them ever are able to understand why they're filled with such rage. They don't really want to engage in self-reflection to understand where all this is. So they just find whatever they can. They just invent whatever they can. They just tell somebody that's singing a song to a music track that they need to sing it higher. And when they tell them some reason they can't do that, they just pretend that that's why they're filled with rage. And so that's why narcissists will become inconsolably infuriated over, like, they're out of their favorite cereal at the grocery store, or you're 2 minutes late coming home from work. This is why they can get so angry over nothing, because they're already angry. And when this happens, what you're actually seeing, it's not an overreaction. You're seeing the rage that has been there all along. They've just found somewhere to pin it. Another odd behavior that you will see a narcissist engage in is the way that they will interject themselves into situations that have nothing to do with them. It's like, as I said a minute ago, they feel like the world revolves around them. They're the center of the universe. They are the center of all existence. They are the creator of everything. So when things are happening around them, they feel like it has to do with them. Everything going on around them has to do with them. And so they'll interject themselves into things that don't have anything to do with them. And if you are close to a narcissist, sometimes you may have noticed that they seem like they have this ownership over things that you're doing, decisions you're making, or things that you're in charge of. And they feel like they need to, like, micromanage things that you're doing that don't even have anything to do with them. Like, maybe if you were dating a narcissist and you weren't living together yet, you have your household separated, your finances separated, all that. And maybe the narcissist starts asking you if you've changed the oil in your car because it's been a while and you need to change the oil in your car and you just put it off. Now, if somebody cares about you, I mean, it kind of makes sense for somebody to ask you if they've thought of it. Have you changed the oil in your car? If there's some reason that that's come up. But when they start getting angry at you because you haven't changed the oil in your car, this can be a really common thing you experience with a narcissist, where you wonder, why is this person getting angry at me for something that doesn't affect them, only affects me, has nothing to do with them, isn't any of their business? Why are they getting angry? I mean, it's one thing to remind somebody that you care about, that they need to do something for their own benefit, but then to take it up a notch where you feel this kind of ownership over it, where a narcissist feels like it's their job to make sure that you're doing things that have nothing to do with them at all. This is a really narcissistic behavior. It's a huge red flag, especially, like I said, if it turns to anger. It's annoying enough when narcissists are nagging you and taking ownership over things that have nothing to do with them. But when it gets to a point in a relationship when they start making suggestions or giving you advice, and you know on some level that that's not advice. If I don't take that advice, I'm going to pay for it. They're going to harass me. They're going to become enraged that I'm not taking their advice. We're going to argue about it for months on end. And the reason that narcissists do this is just because of control. They feel like they need to control everything you're doing, and they also feel like they know the best way to do everything. They know how often you need to change the oil in your car. So if they feel like you need to change the oil in your car every 3 months and you go 6 months or longer, then that is somehow insulting them and their beliefs. And how dare you do that to them? You're supposed to be changing the oil in your car. Like, it's a personal insult to them when you do things that they feel like you shouldn't be doing, and they feel entitled to direct what you do. They feel entitled to tell you what to do with it, and they feel like they're already involved in everything that's going on. I mean, maybe it's not something where they're micromanaging you or telling you what to do. Maybe it's two friends that are having an argument with each other, or just any kind of situation with each other that has nothing to do with the narcissist, but the narcissist somehow makes it their business as well and starts having conversations with these two people and causing drama, stirring things up, getting involved in something that really didn't have anything to do with them and wasn't any of their business. And the last odd behavior that I'm going to talk about is how narcissists can do a 180 on things that seemed really important to them. They can seem to be really passionate about a certain opinion that they have, maybe a political opinion or a religious opinion or just anything. And then like a few days later, suddenly their opinion has completely changed. They've gone completely against something that they were so adamant about a few days ago. And there's no explanation for it. And if you try to ask them, I thought that this was really important to you, why are you changing your mind? They will just gaslight you, deny that they ever said anything, act like you're crazy, and it can make you start feeling like you're crazy. This could be something really minor, like maybe they're really passionate about a certain sports team or maybe a certain make of car, and they just tell you how great they think it is and go on and on about how awesome this team is or this type of car is. And you think in your head like, okay, this person really, really loves this sports team. And then maybe a few days later, or maybe even like a year later, you see this sports team do something and you bring it up and they're not acting as if they've ever had any opinion about this team, when just a little bit ago, they were just going on and on about how awesome they thought it was. But it can get a little more disturbing and disorienting when maybe one day they see somebody throw a plastic bottle into the garbage can and they just start ranting and raving to you later about how nobody cares about this planet and nobody recycles and these people are awful, irresponsible, throwing things away that they should be recycling, and they go on and on about how passionate they are about recycling. And then like a few days later, they throw a plastic bottle into the garbage can. And you ask them like, oh, I thought that recycling was really important to you. You're just like, is it not? I mean, what's going on? And they just completely deny that they ever said anything or they ever had an opinion about it. And they act like you're crazy. Like, what are you talking about? I never said that. Why would you think that I care about recycling? And narcissists do this for similar reasons to that they do all the other things I've gone over in this video. Their reality is written in disappearing ink. Nothing really lasts longer than the moment that it's happening in. They live in the present moment, and what's happening right now is really the only thing that matters to them. The past is nothing but a tool that they can use to manipulate the present moment. And if something that happened in the past isn't going to help them right now, then it might as well have not happened. It might as well not exist. And if something in the past is going to make things more difficult for them right now, then it definitely doesn't exist and it never happened, because there's no reason for it to. Everything that has ever happened and everything that is happening is because of the narcissist. So things that happened in the past, if they don't serve a purpose for the narcissist, then they feel like they have this right to annihilate it from history and to declare that it never happened. And you're supposed to go along with that because the narcissist decides what's real. And the narcissist decides what's real in the present moment, because the present moment is the only thing that the narcissist really cares about. They're not thinking about tomorrow, and they're definitely not thinking about yesterday, unless they can pull something up out of yesterday to manipulate you in the present moment. Nothing really means anything for longer than it takes for that thing to happen. None of their insults mean anything for longer than it takes to give them. None of their opinions are permanent or mean anything. They're based on fleeting moods and just the way they feel about something in the present moment. And as soon as that moment's gone, it doesn't mean anything anymore. And this is really confusing to people that live in reality and people that believe that what really happened yesterday or last year actually matters, that the truth matters, and that what is really reality and what we all agree upon as facts actually do matter. Narcissists don't view the world this way. And that can be one more thing that they do that kind of give away that you're not dealing with somebody that has a normal reality-based perception. And I hope this video has given you some things to maybe just look back on and reflect about those little moments, those little red flags that popped up. Or if you are living in confusion right now, I hope that maybe this helped to clear up some of that confusion and make sense out of these weird little quirky behaviors that narcissists engage in and why they do that. If you're looking for a way to support my channel and you've been considering professional therapy, BetterHelp is offering 10% off of your first month of service if you sign up using the link below in my description. And if you sign up using the link below in my description, I will get a one-time commission. So that'll help me out, and it'll help you out as well if that's something that you've been thinking about doing. I hope this helps. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up and comment below any ideas you have for me for future videos. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you like this video and would like to see more like it in the future. Until next time, thanks. Bye.